the longer my engagement with Loki has gone on, the deeper my astonishment that it's me. If I look back at it, it seems so unlikely that I would be playing the Norse god of mischief, who has been around in the collective unconscious, certainly in the sort of northern or western, the northern hemisphere and western culture for over 2,000 years. And when I first engaged to play it in Kenneth Branagh's Thor, diligently I went back to the comics, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Walt Simonson, Koipel, and then also went into the canon of the Norse myths, these extraordinary stories of how the ancient Scandinavian people made sense of the world. And there was also a script I was working off, and so I thought, well, there are key points in the script. He's a brother, he's a son, and those relationships needed to be calibrated. But the tone of the character himself, who is he? Why is he? Was so fascinating, because in the old Norse myths, as many of you will know, at the Council of the Gods, Loki was never trusted. He was always somebody who one was never sure what his motivations were. He was mercurial, he was mysterious, he was enigmatic. He was highly intelligent, but could use that intelligence for nefarious means. But in spite of that, he was always deemed necessary. And that when some terrible crisis befell the gods, and Odin and Thor and Frigga and the Council of the Gods, none of them knew what to do. They'd run out of ideas. There was always a kind of a knock on the table from the far end. Loki sitting on his own. I've got an idea. And it will be bonkers. But it just might work. And that, I think, is a really interesting thing as an actor to inhabit, is that there is someone, a character, Loki, who has represented chaos. Our lives as human beings are governed by those two forces of order and chaos. We like things to be ordered, but sometimes they're chaotic, and sometimes chaos is what you need. And that's what Loki is. And it's a really exciting thing to step into that as an actor. I think I've been incredibly lucky in that the depiction of the character, the writing of the character, was, for someone, supernatural, incredibly human. And there is a humanity to him that is very obvious, I think, in Kenneth Branagh's film. His vulnerability, his heartbreak, all that pain, but also then this other factor of his kind of gifts, some of which were taught to him by his mother, that he is a sorcerer. And it actually is in the Dark World, as well as in Ragnarok, is Loki is called upon to help Thor because he's the only one who can, in spite of this ancient rift between them, because of their childhood enmity. So in terms, it's a narrative gift for an actor to have all of that, fantastic, accessible emotion, and this idea that he's the only one with certain sets of keys to the universe, and he's the only person who can open those doors. It's been a ride, and I'm just enormously grateful. I feel so lucky that I got to do this. I really do. So.